Yeah, not a problem. Just make sure it's posted, and have a secure space like a code check. If you're going to do it, it's nice to have a secure code check. Say, hey, you can't take your backpack in, but if you want, you can put it in this locked closet. We have a camera on it, and here's your check bag. Be aware of those that are nursing or might have need. They just need to explain, and then you know what? Give them a clear bag and say, we're going to give you this clear bag to use during services, so it's not an issue. It's marked with our logo, so we know what it is. Yes, CPR is always good, and request you can have it done by a certified thing. And most municipalities will not go after you if you attempt to provide CPR and do it. Right now, they do the no breathing one. It's all chest compressions, as I'm aware. So, and that's good. We avoid that, the breathing aspect. But it's always good to have it and recognize that you're initial responders, not first responders. We're simply there to, in the military days, it was stop the bleeding, start the breathing, protect the wound, treat for shock. That was our basic combat first aid. So it's similar to that when we talk about CPR. Are they prepared to at least provide the most effective but least harmful intervention for what needs to happen? And many times, I saw something about stop the bleed stuff. Do you have a way to stop the bleed? And they make these kits, and schools have them all over. It's a good idea to have them. And just have training. You can get CPR training from the Red Cross, Stop the Bleed, local hospitals, your firefighters, paramedics can come in. That's who at my last church taught us all CPR, was the firefighters. They came in and they needed it for part of their annual certification and training. So they taught us. So yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, that's where the rubber meets the road, right? How do you know what's really important to you? Look at your checkbook. I'm sure you've all heard that before. But that's the same thing when it comes to security. How do you incorporate it is one, you establish, is it a priority? And that's again to the culture, as we kind of understand. If I say I want to be a secure campus, but I say I'm not going to spend money for access control or cameras, then I'm not. My beliefs and my values are not in alignment. And so our budget should reflect our values. And so I think the best thing is to have that open and honest communication and say, if we want to be more secure, then we need to limit the ability for folks to enter the facility. And we can do that through access control and locking doors. And we need to replace X number of door locks because this church has been in existence for 25 years and nobody knows who has all the keys. Because I guarantee you, give out one key, 14 copies are made. That's just how it works. We've all been there. How do you find out who has keys to the church? Change the locks without telling people. That's how you find out. That's what we do. And as it comes to the budget, we just need to be honest and make that. And so it's hard. Let's just be frank. It's hard because it's not flashy. It's not cool. It's not the same as the new, and I'm not bashing on worship teams or pastors, but it's not the same thing as the video wall that everybody wants or the cool cameras so we can live stream. That's all neat, and a lot of times it's effective, but it's not the same as an access control board or adding cameras. So yeah, you just got to make the statement and get in it writing. That's what I started to do. It makes people uncomfortable if you have a conversation and you respond with an email saying, hey, per our conversation, when I suggested we should limit access control because of rising safety and security concerns in our community, you did not want me to pursue that because it would make members mad. I just want to make sure I understood that right. So, funny thing, I provide security at a mobile church that doesn't own the building because I'm part of a church plant, and that's what I do. So really, it becomes, are you prepared with all of the different things in the setting in terms of, have you identified at the building where their safety and security stuff that is made, that relates to your usage? Do you know if they have an AED, where it is? Do you know where the portable fire extinguishers are? They're responsible for inspecting that if you don't own that property. But there's nothing to keep you from purchasing and having your own AED that you train your staff on, having your own first aid kit that you have available for issues, and then developing and instituting a safety and security plan that provides, here's our process for X, Y, and Z. Think about it. We had someone pass out in the middle of one of our services. What do? It's very obvious. Small group. middle of the sermon, he just passes out. Fortunately, we had a lot of medical personnel, but we still ended up calling 911 and having them there, and we pulled him, and we did what we needed to do. But we've had cleaning and safety and security protocols in place. What doors we allow open, background checks for those who work with children, 2 people who will work with children. So those are the things you start to implement in the church. Just because you're mobile doesn't mean you don't have policies and procedures. It just means you're not as responsible for some of the inspections, but you can always ask if they're being done, so at least you have a record that they're doing it. If it's the person that says, hey, I want to be on the team because I got a gun, no. That's usually the one I don't let on the team, because it's not about that. That's the very last step of any security planning process, is talking about intervention capable. You have so many steps to go through before that. So I want the individual, male or female, does not matter, but I want the individual that is conscientious, that is willing to follow rules, that is willing to stand up to people even if they know them, and understand that it's not about them. And they've got to be able to tell people no, and to hurt people's feelings. And you know what? Grandma Smith may have been in the nursery since she was a toddler, but she's still getting a background check done. I'm not vouching, I may know her, but I'm not vouching for her to that extent. We need to have people that are willing to do that, and understand that, and willing to invest the time in policy and procedure development, and testing and training. You can't just show up on Sunday to be part of the security team. There's too much in the facility, in the building, and it takes too much training. So those are the things I look for on security team members. I want someone who is loath to have to get into an intervention capable situation, and knows that if we can stop the threat at the extreme perimeter by having parking lot monitors that deter people from coming into our building that want to do harm, that's what I want. People that understand that, because the idea is to limit and mitigate the potential from the farthest point from your church. In the military, we don't build the forward operating base first and then put a fence around it, right? We build the perimeter first, and then we wait till that's secure to build the interior. I've had some stuff that I've used, some training sheets, but really, I'll tell you, an affordable way is like SurveyMonkey or any of those website polling places that you can develop a poll, or even a Google form. Set it up to ask the questions. Set it up to find out what you want to go as you assess your culture, and ask the people what's really important to you. What are you willing to accept? What are you not? And so that's where you start. Just again, finding out what are people truly there, and then verify it with observational data, right? Where we see this, but then walk around the facility. What does our facility match that?